So that means we can call the meeting to order. We'll establish a quorum. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 regular members and an alternate. So once again, your vote is not required, but your input is welcome. Approval of minutes, August 25th, and we do thank you for being here, by the way. You know, it's as alternates, it's good that we have alternates here. Approval of minutes, August 25th, 2025. We know of 2 that have come up. If anybody else has spotted them or others, we'll. One that we spotted was on page 2. On the top section where comments were made, Jennifer West stated, and they follow it down through, it says wetland delineation firm, and I thought it meant form, but it turns out it means what?
Firm.
Firm's report?
Recommended on the wetland delineation. Oh, I see, was which was recommended. It should be by the wetland delineation firm. Yeah. So not rather than.
So it should be, instead of on the, it should be by the.
Yeah. Correct.
In the meantime, I changed it to recommended by the firm that did the wetland delineation.
Okay, that means the same thing though, right?
Yeah,
We like that, that's fine. And the other one was over on page 3, about midway down about revision. Where it says revision is confident that the solar panels will supply sufficient power. And my understanding is we don't need that word has. And I have not found any other.
Oh. Good calling, Bill.
It wasn't me, all of it is, I mean, it wasn't just me. And as much as I hate to fix people's spelling or whatever it was, because mine is marginal at best.
I didn't see anything else.
So I will take a motion that we accept it as amended
Second.
and discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. All right. Old business, no land use business. We got development review. First up on the agenda is Alvar Island Trust, map 33, lot 17, application MD 02-25 to construct an administration education structure containing 3,021 square feet of interior space and 1,091 square feet of decking and entry areas. We had a site review, which turned out that everything, all setbacks were met,
Yeah, and then some.
and then some, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think there was gonna be much of an issue. And looks like everything was clearly marked. So. That being said, I see we got the notice to the abutter across the street, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
The new owner.
The new owner. Yeah. And what else was it? We were looking for a letter, wasn't it?
Yeah, I thought so.
The S verification form. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yeah, oh, yes, absolutely.
it was my understanding that you had asked for three more things, 4 counting that Miles Robin letter. So, I've got responses to all 3, but one of them was the wetlands question. For sure. So. Here's information to use. As we talk through these things, I mean, there wasn't any particularly big deal that I could see, but. One of the situation with the verification form turned into. Bizarre experience. So I went to a website. Run by the Army Corps of Engineers, got the verification form. It's one pager. It does require some attachments to go with it. So I put it all together. And on the form, there's an email address and said submit to this address. You're supposed to send letters to all the main tribes, to the Maine Historic Preservation Commission as well. Other attachments include a site map, and you know, a few things like that. So it was all together. I sent it off. And I think within 24 hours, I got a reply from the Army Corps of Engineers telling me that that it was incomplete, that I hadn't included the attachments, which I actually had done. And then the email said, they gave a URL, go to this website and submit it through this website. The link that they gave me produced an error message. There's nothing there. And so I thought, okay, I'm gonna try to make this thing work. And just Googled, Army Corps of Engineers, and got a more general website that had a kind of reference name, RSS, and I forgot what that is, but it's a site, a new site. We might speculate as to why there's a new site, but I won't. In any event, it's a new site. It's meant to be available for submitting any kind of form, any kind of a permit request to the Army Corps, from huge stuff down to whatever it is. And I could find no place on that site where you could submit a self-verification form. And so really frustrating. As I said, I followed the procedure on the form. And I can show you if you have any interest. I don't know why you would, but I do have, this is what it looks like. And it's not super busy, but it's work. In any event, so I got in touch with the engineers and said, look, the proposed engineering that would have kicked in that requirement was really to install what they called a stone mattress at the entryway instead of a culvert. Army Corps of Engineers apparently thinks that there's a lot of water on both sides of the driveway. We haven't experienced that, but nonetheless, they seem to think that there is, and it is identified as a wetland. So on either side, not where the driveway is. And so I said, Jesus, there's some way we could do something so that you didn't have to put this mattress in and satisfied your concerns about, this driveway location and the wet areas on both sides. And so the engineers did, in fact, come up with an alternative approach that will not require wetlands impacts. And so what you have.
And is that in this paperwork that
What
you're?
you have
gonna
in
tell
there
us
is,
about?
yeah, there's a page called Wetland Impacts,
And
and you have
I take it that, Carrie and, what's that guy's name, Dave?
Me?
I take it this is the first time you've seen this too.
Yes.
gotta keep going a little bit, and
I'm sorry, it's on me.
I think it's something after that.
Wetland.
There we go. So
Wetland
what they're
impact.
suggesting is that instead of this stone mattress under the driveway, that IIT have contractors put a retaining stones on either side of the driveway that don't go into the wetland. And in that way, it avoids any impacts to the wetlands, is what they're saying. The very, very tiny possibility of, was it like, 35 square feet or something down at the toe of the septic. I was so doesn't require a permit. Because it is the toe of a septic. The truth is, it may not even impinge on the wetland. Well, we don't yet know. I mean, you don't know until you're on site dealing with the on-site actual slopes. So where the top of the septic is, there will be a slope to the southeast towards the shore away from that. And where that actually falls, this engineering suggests that it might just create a little bit of an impact on the, or infringement on the wetland there. But they also tell me that it does not require a permit. So after all that messing around with the self-verification stuff,
Well, you reduced impacts, bravo.
we're back to zero in that, or we're at zero in that.
Yeah,
I don't want to go into it too much, but the fact that the Army Corps of Engineers doesn't have their act together in such a dramatic way is really disturbing to me. You know, you try to play by the rules and do what is requested. And to have the website that I did find did say it was beta. So what it means is it's brand new. In fact, what it said was, or what the email told me was, I submitted on September 3rd. They said it became effective September 1st. One more, with Labor Day. And if I had submitted
the
on,
paperwork just, no, but you've already done, you've avoided all the impacts. You don't have to do it, so.
that's right. So that's where we're at on the wetlands. Any questions about,
So you're the one that brought all this up and found it.
Well, it's in their report.
This satisfies,
Yeah, it's just that recommended. So, yeah, he's solved the problem. He's minimized impacts further and.
right? The only thing you didn't do is get this to us on Tuesday before the meeting.
I only got the
Yeah.
engineers today.
Right.
That's just as soon as I could provide it. But
Yes,
It was my understanding that applications that are already in review don't have to follow that deadline schedule.
You've asked him to provide something.
we did. Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But right now, you've got a copy of it and it can go into the official file and
Yep.
so forth.
Yep.
It's not like we're,
Right.
so we're okay.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought we were okay. I just want to make sure we're okay.
No, I know, this came up a while back
Yeah.
too, but no, it was determined that
Right,
if it was a brand new application or something like that,
Yes.
yes, it has to be in
right.
by the deadlines, but if information that you request from an applicant, additional information that you request from an
Yep.
applicant
Yep,
can be brought to the meeting. Here you go.
yep. Okay, I just making sure we're clear.
and I do apologize for it being
No,
in your
no, no.
hands so late, but
No
I,
apology necessary, sir.
we're trying to do the right thing
Yeah.
and the engineer, took a few days
By,
to.
by the sound of it and Jennifer's understanding, then you've met those criteria that needed to be met.
At the end of the day, it's probably better than it was
Right.
before.
Now, the other one I saw with lighting, we had questions. about
Pathway lighting,
and so
right,
forth.
I think in particular, Wendy was asking questions about that, so. We haven't actually, IIT has not actually settled on final product yet. But what you see are examples of what we're looking at.
Right,
There'll be two approaches, if you look at the revised, this sort of.
Yep.
Blown up version, you can see that, they've also, acknowledged your interest in having them a little further apart than they were shown on the initial site plan. They will be down, oriented lights. Exactly which ones they end up choosing, I don't know yet, but they're not looking at any that are greater than 24 inches above.
no, I don't see that,
They're
yeah,
all less than that.
yeah,
Right now, there was a decision by the executive committee to have the lights that are going along the primary path from the parking lot right to the entryway to the building be on a switch so that they can be turned off.
mhm,
And I'd rather wire those than, not have that kind of control. There is not yet a decision as to exactly what lights to put along that other path. Don't want them on all night. The so far, the designers have not found a motion activated light that they like.
Right.
Room at all is one of the problems. So it probably won't be a motion activated light. What I think it can be, what they can be, and what they're leaning towards would be lights that are not wired from inside, but have a little solar collector on top. And that's on your secondary path page. You can see some examples there. And you can set those to operate for a certain period of time.
Yep.
So you can set them to go on at, say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon during the winter and have them go off at midnight or some such thing as that. So that is, I believe, that's the direction that people are going. We don't want to have them on all the time. And it would be nice to be able to turn them off, but that's a lot of wiring.
Sure.
And so the feeling was, geez, if we could avoid doing the wiring, but still not have lights that are on all the time, that would be the ideal.
Yeah.
So I think they're moving in a direction that makes a whole lot of sense. The spacing could increase if there is belief that the amount of light being shed on the path is sufficient, but we don't want somebody to get hurt.
No,
So right now they're talking about what are the distances there?
right in it's 12 feet,
12 feet on that one, on
Yeah.
that set. Yeah,
and I think it was 8.
that's right. It is a service entry type of path. I mean, it'll function that way. It'll also be.
One
if
of
you
the
want-
biggest things was the height, how high they were and how
Mhm.
much, and under 24 inches, I think was what we were shooting for. It's better than 6 feet in the air.
Oh, yeah. No, these aren't going to be anything like that. They'll be very close to the ground. Only lighting the path, not lighting the air above it.
Yeah,
So one, you suggested to possibly till midnight, would you till midnight?
Well, I don't know what the time
there's
would
a
be.
time you can set on them, that's the biggest thing, there's a
Yeah.
time you can set they come on and set they can come off. And whatever that is, I mean, if you wanna call it 10 o'clock, or depends on, like, if you're having a special meeting over there or a training session or something like that, some kind of a special event, you might want them on till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night.
That is very odd. Probably not midnight, Wendy.
Yeah.
It was just a number being thrown out, in my understanding.
Yeah. They definitely don't want them. Nobody wants to have them on all night. That just is a waste. So, it'll probably depend a little bit on the fixture too, and that'll be part of what the decision. When they try to choose a fixture, will be part of, well, how much control do we have over this light? I know I have a Christmas light that I can set so that it'll come on at about 4:30 or about 4, I guess, for the winter, because it's starting to get dark then. And where does it go for 3 hours, I think, or 4 hours, something like that. I'm guessing it'll be something like that, but they haven't fully decided on the fixtures.
They do sell the motion censored lights that you can put there because I have them in my front yard. So don't say that they can't because I have them in my yard. I can walk by, it comes on.
No, I know.
You wait a little while and it goes off.
The reason that right now I mean, we would love to have motion censored light is that's.
They're solar actually too.
But
Yeah.
the ones that they have seen so far are high above are up to about waist height. So if there are some that are down low, then that would be
Well, the ones that I have, you can set as high or as low as you want.
They screw onto a post,
Yeah, they just,
cause that's what I've got on mine right now, is I've got some that screw onto a post. There's a dim light that stays on all night, but then as you walk by it, a brighter light pops on.
well, my stick go off and they go on when you walk by.
well, I ought to meet with you or get the name of the manufacturer because I mean, there's a real interest in having motion sensor.
Right, yeah.
Sure, it saves
That would be
battery
the best.
power.
That would be the idea. It's just that up until the moment today, they hadn't found one that they really thought made sense.
Yeah.
But I'll talk with you after the meeting sometime. this week maybe and
Yeah.
get the name of the manufacturer. Okay. And so the other was, you asked about
The signage,
signage at the
yeah.
road. And, did talk with the executive committee about their thoughts on that subject and, while they haven't decided, who will build it. And therefore, there's no exact decision about what the materials will be. There's a lot of reason to think it'll be wooden, but there is an interest in one sign out by the road. And you see the dimensions here. They're talking about 3 feet wide and about 18 inches tall. That allows the letters to be roughly 3 inches in height. And that's close to what the IIT sign is at the Krieger Center, which is pretty legible from the road. That was the thing. You want it so people can read it and understand what it says. If it's too small, you have trouble with that. But they don't want it any bigger than that. And this falls under the 6
6 square feet.
So there'll be one out at the side of the road somewhere, I think, parallel with the road. So you would be able to see it as you approach, but not this way, not so you're looking at it this way. It'll be, as I say, it'd be roughly parallel to the road, perpendicular to the driveway.
Yep.
I think you'll have a light on the sign.
No,
That could be sold for one too.
it's a good question. It's a good question, but
People would be islanders and should know where they're
But
going.
when it gets dark at 4 o'clock, you might want it.
But there isn't, I think there will be a sign on the building. By the entryway.
And
Just,
I'm not speaking out of turn, Dave, but if it's on the building, the 6 foot square, 6 square feet is null and void.
You can have as big a one as you want.
Yeah, I think it'll be relatively modest, and my guess is, once they decide who's gonna make the one out by the road, they might just have them make another one. But also there's a kiosk that will need to go back up there somewhere.
One for the Blueberry Trail.
Yeah, so I don't know if if there's a sign on that, but I do think that they want it will say the same thing as that sign, Islesboro Trust. Miller Center for Environmental
Bigger than
Education.
6 square feet anyways. I don't think any of them are.
Yeah. But there will be something on the building itself, just. I don't.
And we don't deal with signage anymore. That's straight to Dave.
Yep.
Yeah, just on the building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No permit required for all of that.
So. All right, where are we now with our questions and answers and on this application?
So the other thing that you asked for, is he went up to a major development, so there was an extra fee.
Yeah,
Okay, that
Oh, that's, yeah,
okay, that's,
thank you, David.
so are we ready to table this for,
Yeah.
We have to do the.
we do the findings, do the, what is it called, the criteria for approval? And then we table it for that. Is that right?
You can do the criteria of approval and findings of fact at the same.
Yeah,
That is findings of fact.
Yeah.
The criteria of approval, that's how it's written in the book.
Yeah.
Do we have to move, we have to move the application is completed?
Wait a minute,
Now it is, I don't think we did it before, yeah.
it would be in our minutes if we did.
Are we satisfied with the lighting?
I am, I mean, I fully expect it's gonna be,
it'll be adequate, whatever it is. You can have it low and it's shining down, this could be fun.
We could have a condition stating under 24 inches. Down facing,
Able to switch off.
yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Well, not necessarily able, something that's not gonna stay on all night. Regardless of how it works.
If Steve said, well, if he didn't want it like that, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it's not gonna be that way too, I understand, yep. Let's see, nope, we did not decide whether it was, completed or not. We just decided that there's no public hearing required, and then we tabled it for these things that we just got.
I'll move the application MD 4225 is complete.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion needed? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed, say nay. Yeah, let's do the findings questions.
Seems we have them all nicely typed up.
Right in front of us, yes, already, right? Yeah,
That's very handy.
we don't have to go over the same answers, I mean, but
No,
but they are typed right up for us right there, so you don't have to go find it in the book. You wanna take the lead?
Would you like me to?
You go right ahead. Unless you wanna designate somebody else to take the lead.
I'll try.
Got a tough throat?
A little bit.
Well, let somebody else do it. You wanna do it?
Anybody else wanna do it? I'm gonna use, I'll tell you that once. And this is the correct form, right? All
Yeah,
Don't let
4519.
don't let the answers influence you.
All right, criteria and standards. A, will not result in undue water or air pollution. In making this determination, the board shall at least consider the elevation of land above sea level and its relation to the floodplains, the nature of soils and subsoils and their ability to adequately support waste disposal, the slope of the land and its effect on effluents.
While we were up there for the site review, did we notice anything that, might need silt fence or,
it's good, it's good.
It's not close to a water body,
No,
soils are adequate for the waste disposal. And it's a relatively gently sloping land.
so we're gonna say meets criteria?
yep,
Yep.
Okay,
Oh, B, a sufficient quantity and quality of water available for the reasonably foreseeable needs of the proposed subdivision or development. Well, will be drilled.
there's a well planned to be drilled, so.
Wash your fingers.
We really would like to have it drilled as soon as possible, and I have been told that they should be able to get out this month. I was also told they were gonna get out in August, so
Right,
I have that with a little bit of grain of salt, but one of the reasons I want to have that well drilled before the foundation is just in case.
Sure.
Just in case there needs to be another hole poked in the ground, we can get past on the, down on the water side of where the foundation would be. Once the foundation's there, you really don't want to have to get a well drilling and work right down there, so there should be no problem. I'm anticipating a relatively deep well, deep well.
And it's a small water usage overall.
That's right,
Yeah,
that's right.
so. Proposed planned well is sufficient. Standards have been met. All right, C, will not cause an unreasonable burden on existing water supply if one is to be utilized. There is no existing water supply. Right, the town, there's no municipal water
No
supply
municipal water, no.
or
Is
existing.
not applicable?
So.
Yeah.
So not applicable. D, will not cause unreasonable soil erosion or reduction in the capacity of land to hold water so that a dangerous or unhealthy condition may result. Proposed construction plans indicate that there should be no issue.
Correct.
Standards have been met. E, will not cause unreasonable public or private road congestion or unsafe conditions with respect to use of the public or private roads existing or proposed, including parking at Brindle Point. Proposed usage is within existing usage of the road. And there's plenty of sight line
Yes,
for exiting and entering
Right.
Yep.
the road.
so I would say met.
Standards have been met. F, will provide for adequate solid and sewage waste disposal. The proposed septic design has addressed a adequate sewage waste disposal. And solid waste will be disposed of by IIT. So standards have been met. G, will not cause an unreasonable burden on the ability of the town to dispose of solid waste and sewage if municipal services are to be utilized.
Municipal services aren't being utilized.
So not applicable. H, will not have an undue adverse effect on the scenic or natural beauty of the area, aesthetics, historic sites, rare and irreplaceable natural areas, or any public rights for physical or visual access to the shoreline.
And that was determined at the site review that it was pretty well hidden and not gonna block somebody's view of.
Yeah, very, very, very little,
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
very little impact on it.
and the adjacent property is also part of IIT of providing physical and visual access to the shoreline, so the public should be happy.
So the answer to the question is,
Standards have been met. I is in conformance with this chapter, other applicable local ordinances, state and federal laws and regulations. The town's comprehensive plan, development plan, or master land use plan, if any. A review of our ordinances and reports provided regarding environmental regulations. The project will be in conformance with our town regulations. So standards have been met.
simple,
J, will not create an adverse fiscal impact upon the municipality's ability to provide or improve necessary public facilities and services, including transportation and parking. The project will not have an impact on public facilities or services. Won't be using them. Correct, yeah.
not
Not
applicable.
applicable. A, will not alone or in conjunction with existing activities adversely affect the quality or quantity of groundwater. The project anticipates low water usage and current design is gone to all efforts to minimize impacts to groundwater. So standards have been met.
Sure,
L, will not reasonably interfere with access to direct sunlight for solar energy. The project plans to utilize solar energy for energy.
that's not blocking anybody else.
Yes. So standards have been met. M, will not adversely affect the quality of the body of water or unreasonably affect the shoreline of the body of water whenever situated in whole or in part within 250 feet of any pond, lake, stream, tidal waters. The site review determined that the project is more than 250 feet away from tidal waters. So not applicable. So it's 45-20 flood hazards. All principal structures within the subdivision or development located within designated flood hazard areas as shown on FEMA maps or flood hazard boundary maps on file for public inspection at the town office shall be constructed in accordance with provisions of the town of Islesboro floodplain management ordinance chapter 70.
And it's not in the floodplain, correct?
Although projects not within the floodplain, not applicable. 45-21, financial and technical capacity. The applicant shall have adequate financial and technical capacity to meet the stated standards. Thanks to fundraising, it will meet adequate capacity. So, so not applicable.
Standards and that.
Oh, standards have been met, thank you. B, the developer shall, upon request of the board, submit detailed financial statements that demonstrate adequate capacity to complete the project under the provisions and standards of this ordinance.
Are
Not-
we requesting that as a board?
No. No. So not applicable, not required.
Okay. That being gone through, we need to table this for finalization of the findings of that.
I move, we table MD 03-25 for findings of fact.
Second,
Was it 02 or 03?
02.
03, sorry, no, 02. Yeah, it's not Roger Burke, it's IIT.
Right,
Oh, 02.
right.
right.
So,
So. Second,
motion has been made, it's been seconded. And we just had a little discussion, but is there any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
uh,
Any opposed, say nay. All right.
when do we bring up conditions?
When on approval, so that would be that, where your application right now, whatever our next meeting is, we'll go over the questions that we just asked and make sure everything's written up the way it's supposed to be. We'll approve or change it, whatever we do, and then we'll sign it, and then we'll move into asking about making a motion to approve or not.
Okay, so it's very possible that at the next meeting, you actually would have a vote to approve?
There is very
Yes.
possible, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Great, well, I'm sure that, the board will appreciate that. And if there is any question between now and then, certainly don't hesitate to ask.
No, we've got the information that we've required, so-
Try to provide you with what you need.
and I don't like
And then
that.
some. Thank you.
So you're all set for this meeting? You'd like to stick around? You're welcome to.
Okay, thanks, but I'm probably gonna head out.
Good job. Yeah, take it out.
All right, moving on to our Roger Berg, map 14 lot 4B application MD 03-25 to subdivide 5.5 acre lot into 3 separate lots of 1.5 acre, 3 acre, and 1 acre, and clear trees at Old Road to provide access to existing structures. No new structures planned. And we had tabled this for findings of fact, which we have in front of us, which we just read all the questions from. And
I didn't see any problems.
I didn't either.
I didn't either, so we can move to accept as written. Unless somebody sees something that they want changed.
I move we accept, findings of fact as written.
Second that.
And discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Uh,
Any opposed, say nay. I do believe we're at the question mark of approval.
I move the board approve application. MD 0320 25.
I second that.
And discussion. I have one question. Which one of these papers do we need to sign, Carrie? All of us need to sign for the finding of fact.
And then you'll also need to, all of you will need to sign the permit when it's typed
When
up.
it's come in, so we just do it all at once at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. Then all in favor,
Pick it up at the town office.
I'll come pick it up. I expect to have a truck sometime later this week, so I'll be mobile after 2 months, so I should be back on the island. I'll pick it up.
Okay. All
all
right,
right,
thank
Looking
you.
forward to seeing you all. Yep,
thank you.
yep, thank you.
All right, I see a D up there. Who's D?
That's
my
David
son,
Mark.
David.
Ah, okay,
Oh, Yep,
okay. So Roger, you're welcome to stick around. Oh, he's gone.
You go. You didn't even take an apple.
He didn't take an apple. All right. New business, no land use ordinance, no development review. We got a CPO report for August.
Pretty sparse, but.
That one driveway that was put in right down the road, you got a permit for that?
Right down the road. You have to go-
JT,
GT.
Yes, that was permitted.
That's a long frickin' driveway.
Yes, it is.
Yes, two of them now, is he gonna do?
He's gonna discontinue one of them.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, and obviously he came in and get the permit for it.
Mhm.
So there was a pin found that we could delineate. He's 15 feet away from that, and
Yep.
everything, good to go.
Yep.
All right,
I went and checked his sight lines and.
Yep.
Everything's good.
oh, his sightlines are.
Yeah.
Good, I would think. Ah. Neville tree work, wow,
Yeah, I think you were involved in that one.
I think I was, yep. All right, people wishing to address the planning board. We have, and two things at once here. Cause we got correspondence from Scott DeGrasse and Nokomis Nelson, both looking to throw their hat in the ring for the vacant, alternate slot. We flip a coin, see who gets to say first, one of the, whatever. Either you guys wanna arm wrestle for who goes first, or?
No, he'd win.
Huh?
He'd win.
He'd win.
Happy to go first.
Go ahead.
So I think everybody here knows me and know everybody here, but you know, I live on the island. My kid goes to school here. My wife's a teacher. I think that there are a lot of things that hurdles this island faces right now, and how we approach and handle those will really decide, you know, what the longevity of a viable, sustainable year-round community is here. And for me, ensuring that we have that is pretty paramount. You know, like, I want my kid to be able to live here if he wants to. And if he wants to have kids go to the school here, you know, that'd be cool. My father's family were Beezy's, like, we've been around this island for a long time. And I think that, you know, obviously the planning board, as you know, enforces the ordinance we have, but there are times when you also have a hand in shaping new ordinances or planning for the future. And I think that, you know, that appeals to me and, would love to be part of that if you'd like that, so. That's really what I have to say and where I come from, so thank you.
Thanks.
Okay,
You wanna follow that up?
my turn, yeah. I think most of you all know me as well, and my father, I think he was here more for the Burke situation than moral support for me, but I'm glad that he's here. Our family's been on the island for 55 plus years. Back in 60, I think 65, we bought the property and built our place in 67. My dad and mom have lived here now full time for I think 6 years, 7 years, but they were here every summer. I've been summering here since 1967. I've never missed a summer. So I know most of the old timers on the island, and they know who I am, and for now years to help sustain the beautiful island that we have and this home that we have. I can bring a lot of experience to the table from residential, commercial development, land development. I'm familiar with fire codes. I'm familiar with all of these things. I know the code book. I haven't read all 256 chapters, but I'm very familiar with the book. I understand ordinances. And I do understand that some of those ordinances may have to change in the future, as we continue to grow, and develop the town. And I would love to be a part of that. So bringing that experience to the table, as well as just the desire to participate in town government, for the town that I now call home, and I will call home for the foreseeable, for the rest of my life, I should say, which hopefully will be a long time. But thank you for hearing me.
Well, thank you both. Now, I don't imagine we can just go ahead and submit both of them and.
No, you gotta limit. You got.
Yeah, but we don't vote with them here, they have to leave.
Well, I maybe ask some.
We can, yeah,
questions.
absolutely, ask
You can ask
questions away.
but
Yeah, and if it turns out they have questions of us, they can ask too, so.
Mhm.
So if you have questions, ask.
Well, Scott, I have not been on the island all that long, so, in terms of your experience, you say you've been on boards and whatnot, so you know codes and fire and whatever, so what exactly is your experience in that?
So it's not in town government, but I've developed a lot of residential and real estate, commercial real estate throughout my career. My career is not in development, but I have participated in multiple pieces. I've myself developed over 10 different residential homes throughout my life. And I've also participated in building out from scratch commercial properties to the tune of $3 or $4 million. So I'm familiar with the fire codes that are associated with that, and the electrical codes and plumbing codes and all of that stuff, as working basically as a general contractor. So I understand a lot about construction and how things get put together. And I think that would be a favorable thing to have on a planning committee.
So on Islesboro, the only plumbing code is the only thing that we have.
Yeah, we don't do fire code.
Yeah, no, it's understandable.
We throw fire at the
State
fire marshal, state fire marshal.
Yeah, right.
And both electrical and building codes are non-existent here, which,
Our population, our year-round population size makes it so we're not compelled
Right.
by the state to enforce.
I did,
Anything.
however, hear something along the lines that even though we're not, we still have to comply, as the builders have to comply to certain.
Right.
Yeah, they can't just blatantly make an unsafe structure. I mean,
Right.
Yeah,
But they, knowingly that there is a code out there that they are, how is it worded? It behooves them to,
yes.
Yeah, or lose their license.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would not be good.
yes,
Yeah, I think one virtue of that situation really on this island is that, somebody can build their own house still, and that's
yes,
rare
Right.
in this world, and
Yep.
that's special, and so, obviously, if you're hiring a general contractor, yeah, they need to do what's safe, they need to do what's prudent. But it also, leaves room for, somebody that's trying to figure things out. My first
Exactly.
house on this island was a cabin with a composting toilet.
Right.
You know, a 12-volt battery and a little solar panel.
I agree.
So, I think that.
Yeah, we built our house from scratch, so ourselves, so it's, yeah. Yeah. I would also say too, I think it's important that obviously the planning committee has got to be unbiased in all ways. And I think that that's something that's, from my own perspective, that's easy for me to do. Managing, various companies and having, 50 to 100 employees is not an easy thing. And that's been my experience. I've done it for a long time, and not saying that being able to hear.
My current wife works for the school, so I had to step aside to pursue that relationship from my role on the school board, but I really enjoyed that. Prior to that, I'd been on the board of selectmen for quite a while. I think, so I've been part of the municipal government of this island. My father, obviously, as many people know, was on the school committee for over 20 years. My mother was on the planning board and then the Board of Appeals for, I think, a little less than that, but certainly something in the teens of years between the two. So, in my work, I drive boats, I drive excavators, I drive dump trucks, I build roads and houses or what we had. It's jack of all trades, master of none, maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm better with a boat than an excavator, but I do feel like, obviously I've got a lot of experience and I know certainly Dave sees me in his office a fair amount of getting permits for this or that for people I work for, but yeah. Does that, I don't know if that answers what you're looking for. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, what was the other thing? In terms of your work schedule, do you have time to put towards the planning board? I mean, it is.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I
It's
I
time.
live here. I'm committed to being here. My wife's a teacher here. We are thoroughly year-round residents. And in the summer, the boats, obviously it's a little busier, but I think this is important. I think that also I have the really good fortune of the people that I work for valuing this community heavily and valuing, so one of the wife of the family that I work for, she's on the school board, for example, now. That town government and seeing the successful future of this town is paramount to all of our, hearts.
I have time.
Oh, can you be impartial when it comes up to? I mean, it is a critical component of being on the planning board is that we have to review the ordinances and really avoid setting precedents by weakening the ordinances. So that is one of our issues and possibly having to consider in updating the ordinances.
Yes, for sure. I mean, I think, I was chair of the school committee through the majority of the COVID period. And that there was a lot of emotion at that point and a lot of people that wanted kids to either be in school or not in school, vaccine requirements, not, and I think that was threading a needle of what is law, what is required, and what can we do to serve the island best.
That was a rough spell.
That was a rough spell, and I mean,
Yeah.
there were, pretty much every school board meeting, it was all online at that point. And there'd be 70 or 80 people, online watching those meetings, and the questions were hard. And the passions and feelings were high. It was
In both directions.
in both directions, yeah, there were people that needed their children to be in school so they could work. There were people that feared their children being in school for the health effects. And I would like to feel like my record through that, was positive.
Anybody else? Anything else?
I mean, it doesn't often happen, but, in the last couple years, there have been a couple of issues that the board has had to tackle that were extremely time consuming, like dizzying the number of hours. So, that's something that you should probably think, consider if that's something you can, commit to if and when it happens. It doesn't happen often.
But thank God.
Yeah, yeah.
Most stuff is pretty easy, but
Right.
Yeah, I
Sometimes
mean,
we do
usually
get-
we're out of here in 20 minutes,
No,
but
who
sometimes.
remembers the Lucadia development proposal, but
Say that again?
the Lucadia development.
Is that the Northeast Point?
That was really fun, yeah. There were meetings in the gym with 150 people.
Yeah,
It's bigger than town meetings.
right.
I would be gone.
We haven't had anything that extreme yet, but we've come close.
I was on the board for all that.
You were? You were on the board for all that?
Not all, but, majority of it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was big. I
it
on
was
the
before my
select board.
time.
No. I was here.
Yeah,
Wendy, just to answer your question, I've considered that. It's not a problem for me. It's not. Maybe if I do some consulting work with offshore factories, which is where I've done most of my career, it's not a problem. That's not gonna interfere with the town at all. This is first for me.
Well, you can always zoom in meetings. It's the
And I-
matter of being prepared.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that at all from my perspective. Being retired gives me a little bit of that flexibility.
anybody else? Anything else? You have questions for us?
No, I think I've spoken to some of you, not all of you, of course, but no, I don't have any questions. I think it's fairly cut and dry what the ordinance are and what the job description is for the planning board, so.
And we're bound by those ordinances and, my personal feeling is if whoever puts in an application conforms to the ordinances, then they
Should go through.
should go through.
Yeah. I guess the only question I would have, I do have a question. I would ask in the past, when is the last time any ordinances have been modified? from a
Last
planning
year?
perspective?
last year,
Last year.
Yeah.
That was huge.
And it was a big one.
Yeah.
It was for the accessory dwelling units.
Right.
We spent a long time on that. It
And
was,
affordable housing.
Yeah.
LD 2003.
So, yeah, I mean, I would add that from a legal perspective, I mean, not most of these ordinances and the code book is very legalese written, and I am very familiar with a lot of reading those type of documents. I've got a lot of experience, unfortunately, with dealing with law firms. But the similarities between code and contracts and those kind of things are, I've got a lot of experience there as well, so. This is,
Excuse me.
And we've created a new town center and expanded an existing town
Right.
center as part of that.
right,
process.
the dirt right around Durkee's, right, is a new.
Yes, and we have new maps.
Yeah,
What was the question?
Oh,
the new town center around Durkee's,
Center maps.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just
that
adding
changes zoning, right?
that as part of all that ordinance change, we created we created one new town center and expanded an
And that
existing.
dropped from an acre and a half to an acre?
Half acre.
Half acre. That certainly will help.
Hopefully, it only helps if somebody takes advantage of it.
Yeah,
Well,
but at least it's there to take advantage
if
of. it.
Richard's successful in selling his business and 17 acres, it's a lot of acreage.
Those things can be looked at as a benefit, but it's only a benefit if somebody does something with it. All right, anything else? And as Gil said, we'd rather not vote on either one of you
That's
while you're sitting here.
understood.
So, we can,
So you're kicking us out?
Yes,
Well, if you go into executive session.
yeah.
that's
Everybody
the only way
has
to
to
do that, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Executive.
But you can't vote in executive session.
No,
You
can't
have to
vote.
come back to a public meeting to vote. Or you could just vote in the public meeting and not discuss it without going into executive session.
Not discuss.
If you're satisfied with the questions and answers that you had in this
Oh, yeah.
session here. And you don't need to discuss it amongst yourselves any further, you can just go ahead to a vote as part of this public hearing.
It
If
could
you-
be
if
on
you-
paper.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make it a little easier for you, and I will bow out. But I'm gonna take an apple.
take an apple.
And you will take an apple?
Take one for your wife.
Yeah, all right, I'll do, I'll take.
Oh, listen here. And your neighbor.
Yeah. They look beautiful, thank you. All right,
Yeah.
We'll head out too. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Paul.
I'm taking it.
What apple's that? What is it? Would you like an apple? Good night.
Good night.
So executive session,
If you
Or-
want to talk privately, you can go into executive session.
Right.
If you're ready to vote.
and that means you won't even be in here,
Right.
Dave won't be in here.
But I would wait to come back if you want to vote after executive session.
Right. Do we want to do that to them, or do we just want to discuss it right here?
As long as you take it, don't, everybody stays quiet as to what we discussed.
Well, do you need to be live?
If you're not in executive
Oh,
session,
it'll be
we're
in the
still
minutes.
on the record,
Right,
so.
Oh.
Yeah, we don't want that.
So, so you,
So, I
but
need to make.
so I need to make a motion to go to executive session.
Yes,
Okay, second.
who made a motion?
I guess I did.
You have to state the statute.
all right, chapter
statute?
13,
Oh.
statute, or different, a little squiggly, what is that?
It's
Section,
MRSA section,
405. Executive sessions. It's under the under Freedom of Access Act.
All right. So did we do it right?
yes.
Thank you for,
who made that motion? Sorry. Okay, thanks. And
Gil
we-
seconded,
and we cited the
and
statute,
you studied the statute, so.
thanks to
Okay.
Dave.
All right, so
Oh,
We haven't
we
voted
just-
yet, we haven't had
Yeah, voted
discussion. Discussion?
Yeah,
No.
no.
On the motion,
Oh, yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. And you say we cannot vote in,
cannot vote in executive session,
right,
and that has to go off.
and that has to go off.
Yeah.
Does it have to go back on probably for recording?
When you come back into public here,
Okay.
because you have to leave executive and come back into a public. hearing.
Yes,
So then it
We
goes
two
back.
take-
but how do
take
we
apples,
vote that then? How do we vote to come back into regular
You
session?
just say
you just say exit.
exiting.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. Just ended executive session.
Okay, do you want to do a paper vote? How do you want to do this?
Paper vote fine? Hand vote
Go by
fine?
hand.
Yeah, that's fine.
Hands fine? Okay, then how do we do this? I make a motion that the board accepts the applicant Scott DeGrasse.
I second that.
Any discussion on the matter? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I vote too.
No, you know. Go?
How many?
Was that everyone?
If your hand's not up, you're not voting.
I didn't know we were doing it by raised hands.
Yeah.
It was a very feeble eye.
Okay,
All right,
I think that's that.
I think that's that.
So you're actually making a recommendation to the.
We are gonna make
select
a
board.
recommendation to the select board that Scott DeGrasse fills the spot.
Good.
We're going to thank Nokomis for his interest and keep the door open for possible in the future. I think we thought that both applicants were qualified.
Any other business?
Is that all we need? Then I know that can motion for an adjournment.
After that.
Light mine's like to make one, but I made it, so. Seconded over here, any discussion about it? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right,
Till next time.
next time. This has been officially inserted into